lot of people say men are afraid of commitment. You've heard it before. Men don't want to settle down. Men are immature. Men just want to play games. But what if that's not true? What if the reason many men hesitate to get married has nothing to do with commitment at all? Think about it. Millions of men wake up every morning, go to work, pay bills, sacrifice their comfort, and dedicate years of their lives to people they love. That doesn't sound like a group of people who are afraid of commitment. So what's really happening? Here's the uncomfortable question nobody wants to ask. What if men aren't afraid of marriage? What if they're afraid of divorce? Because those are two very different things. And once you understand the difference, you'll start to see why so many men who genuinely want love are becoming increasingly cautious about marriage. Stay until the end, because one of the biggest reasons men fear divorce has almost nothing to do with money. And it's the part that hurts the most. 1. Men still want love. Let's start with a myth. The myth is that men no longer want relationships. That's not true. Most men still want companionship. Most men still want loyalty. Most men still want a family. Most men still want someone they can trust. The desire hasn't disappeared. What has changed is the level of risk many men believe comes with marriage. Imagine someone asking you to invest everything you own into a business. Your money, your time, your energy, your future. And then imagine being told that if the business fails, you could lose a significant portion of everything you've built. Would you think carefully before signing? Of course you would. That's how many men view marriage today. Not because they don't believe in love, but because they believe the consequences of failure can be devastating. 2. The fear of losing everything. One of the biggest fears men talk about is financial loss. Now, before anyone gets angry, let's be clear. Divorce can hurt both men and women financially, but many men believe they are often expected to carry the larger financial burden. They spend years building a career, years building savings, years creating stability. Then suddenly, one failed relationship can change everything. Whether that fear is always justified is not the point. The point is that the fear exists, and fear influences behavior. A man doesn't have to personally experience a painful divorce. He only has to watch his friend go through one, or his father, or his brother, or his coworker. People learn from observation. Sometimes one horror story is enough to make someone extremely cautious. 3. The thing men fear more than money. Here's where things get interesting. Most people assume money is the biggest issue, but for many men, it isn't. The thing they fear most is losing access to their children. Imagine tucking your child into bed every night, helping with homework, watching cartoons together, teaching them how to ride a bike, being there for birthdays, school events, family vacations, then suddenly seeing them only on certain days. For many men, that possibility is terrifying. A man can rebuild his finances. He can get another job. He can recover financially, but he can't get back years of missed moments with his children. And that's what keeps many men awake at night. 4. The silent fear men don't talk about. Here's something many men rarely admit. They're afraid of emotional destruction. Society often portrays men as emotionally detached, but reality is different. Many men love deeply. They just express it differently. When a relationship ends, men suffer too, sometimes intensely, The problem is that men are often expected to suffer quietly. People ask women if they're okay. People check on women. People support women. Many men feel they're expected to simply move on, go to work, stay strong, pretend everything is fine, but inside they may be completely broken. 5. Why some men delay marriage. This helps explain a growing trend. Many men aren't rejecting marriage, they're delaying it. They spend more time evaluating potential partners, more time observing behavior, more time looking for red flags. Some people call it fear, others call it caution. Either way, the result is the same. Men are becoming more selective because they understand that choosing the wrong partner can affect every area of life. Leo, the social media effect. Social media has changed everything. In the past, people mainly learned about relationships from family and friends. Today, they see thousands of stories every day. Divorce stories, cheating stories, custody battles, financial disasters. Whether those stories represent reality or not, they shape perception. And perception often becomes reality in people's minds. When men constantly see examples of failed marriages, they naturally become more cautious. Leo, the trust problem. At its core, marriage is built on trust, not attraction, not chemistry, trust. A man has to trust that the person beside him will still be beside him years later. He has to trust that the relationship can survive difficult times. He has to trust that conflict won't automatically lead to separation. Without trust, marriage feels risky. With trust, marriage feels safe. That's why many men spend more time evaluating character than ever before. Finally, what women often misunderstand. One of the biggest misunderstandings today is this. When a man hesitates about marriage, many people assume he doesn't love his partner. That's not always true. Sometimes he's trying to protect himself. Sometimes he's trying to avoid making a mistake. Sometimes he's carrying fears created by experiences he witnessed growing up. Understanding that difference can change conversations completely. Now, the real issue isn't that men hate marriage. If they hated marriage, they wouldn't keep searching for love. They wouldn't keep dating. They wouldn't keep hoping. The real issue is that many men believe the consequences of choosing the wrong person are higher than ever. Right or wrong, that's how they feel. And feelings drive decisions. So are men afraid of marriage? Some are, but many are afraid of something else entirely. They're afraid of losing everything they've worked for. They're afraid of losing their children. They're afraid of emotional devastation. They're afraid of making the wrong choice and paying for it for years. That doesn't mean marriage is bad. It doesn't mean love is dead. It simply means many men are approaching commitment differently than previous generations. And whether you agree or disagree, understanding those fears is the first step toward understanding modern relationships. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think men are truly afraid of marriage? Or are they afraid of divorce? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more relationship psychology and dating insights. And remember, the strongest relationships aren't built on fear. They're built on trust.